Hello, everybody. This is Peace, Love, Harmony here with Brother One. We're doing a quick guide on marketing for you, masterclass, and this will be uploaded onto the YouTube channel. First off, we want to have a disclaimer that we don't have degrees in marketing or anything. We're just trying to help everybody out the best way that we can. And starting out with social media outlets like Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Reddit, TikTok, and any place like that. It's good to be active in as many as possible. Get a good idea which one works better for you. You want to join as many groups as you can find and just be active in the community as possible. Joining community groups and being available to help answer questions gives you better chances to get delegates. Also, it helps you learn things that you might not know yet from the community. Most delegates like to see their validators active in the community. Giving regular validator reports shows that you pay attention to your node. It also helps to throw in some tips or tricks with your report to help gain attention. Adding graphics and promo explainer videos helps out a lot. When you're making ads, posts, etc., you want to know who you're targeting, so it helps out on how you're gonna make an ad or promo. You're targeting one holders that keep their one on the centralized exchange, because you want people to get the one off the exchange in their own wallet. And you're targeting people that have one that don't know about staking. You want them to know that they can make passive income on it and how to do it securely. And you're also targeting anyone that doesn't know about Harmony One and one holders that align with your voting history. We'll let Kevin do some talking now.
Yeah, thanks, Rob, and thanks everybody for joining us for this lesson. Another thing to keep in mind in regards to like educating your future delegators or just any Harmony community member is to promote them to use their own wallets, but to also promote security and safety practices. This can ensue in storing their seed phrases correctly, not leaving them on the computer or in their Gmail or email accounts or anything like that, where it could be vulnerable to outside sources hacking and taking that information, because they can essentially just take your entire crypto wallet. So just encouraging those good security practices will definitely help protect their assets and also help them be a better participant in the ecosystem. Also comes in line with this is promoting decentralization. So by having people take out their ones from the exchanges, they're able to support the proof of stake network with Harmony and decentralize the network a lot better by doing so. So some people really do care about decentralization, and they will love to learn that they can do this by participating in staking and earning a passive income while doing so. So it's like a win-win on both sides. Another thing that you can do as an validator is making posts that get attention. So, and what I mean by that is like creating either some ads or promotion campaigns. Some famous tools that you can use is something like Render Forest. Render Forest is a good tool to make visual presentations, maybe like a short little slideshow or video explaining what a validator is or who you are as a validator. Just information you can just spew out. They can even be educational if you choose to. Thematic is another platform that you can use. sometimes involving meme culture can help kind of like bring attention to your validator in your project. So those are some unique tactics that you can use. Kickstarter as well, and just those are kind of like the smaller things that you can do just to bring some attention to your validator. But yeah, that's been good for that small section of marketing. And then we're going to move over to collaborations, right, Rob?
That's correct. On the collaboration.
So another cool thing that you've pretty much seen a lot of batters do is do collaborations. So what I mean by collaborations is you reaching out to either a fellow validator that's willing to work with you, or even an NFT artist or someone that can provide some type of uh, content that you can either give away for free to your delegators, or just provide kind of like a promotional campaign, basically. So this can affect when I first started as a validator, I actually made a collaborations with 3 other validators. So our main goal was to run like the biggest giveaway that we could possibly run. So we gave away T-shirts, stickers, we gave away NFTs, we gave away one tokens, and I think it was like, I don't remember like if we gave out 10,000 one tokens or if we gave out like 5,001 tokens, but we split that between all 4 validators. So we weren't coming out too much out of pocket, but we did like a month-long campaign, and we just ran with it, and we got a lot of people involved with it. But it was like the first huge marketing push that I saw at the time from other validators. But it was cool because a lot of people were just engaging. And from that, we actually got 3 out of the 4 validators elected. It doesn't always, so I don't want you guys to run these collaborations and think I'm going to get elected just by running a collaboration, which that would be a plus, but I don't want you to keep that expectation because of how the current market is today. What some goals that I would encourage to do is have some small goals and gain more followers, gain more smaller delegators, and grow that base. That's what I would focus on today's market. As you build on that and you communicating with your community, with the people that's involved with you, and you're offering help to help them get familiar with the staking dashboard or any guides that they need help with, whether it's DeFi or moving funds around or getting familiar with the Harmony Bridge. Stuff like that goes a long way, and you establish a trust with your community and with the Harmony community in general. So people will recognize who you are and your value, and they'll be like, "Hey, this guy is extremely helpful." Even if it's helping a delegator that's not for your validator, uh, huge respect. I think everyone here has had a time where they had to help a different delegator from a different validator, but they were extremely grateful that some of them even offered to delegate some ones with you. And for me, any even 101 is perfect. Like that right there is just a blessing in itself. So that's how I treat it, and that's how hopefully you can start treating it in that form and begin to just be a big helper. If you do that, I think it's going to help you in so many ways. But that's kind of what the collaboration aspect goes from. Just putting yourself out there and then just finding someone who's willing to work with you, come up with a deal that can benefit you and your other person that's collaborating with you, and then just run with it and do it as many times as you can. I don't think anybody has it with gaining free stuff or helping out with likes or retweets or whatever it is that's happening with your campaign. So go ahead, Rob, with picking your brand.
And also go along with what Kevin was saying about collaboration. It's there's a lot of different projects out there you can collaborate with, and for example, I collaborated with One Moon when I wasn't elected and offered 500 million One Moon to my first 100 delegates if they stayed with me for 20 epochs after my first election. And 500 million One Moon sounds like a lot, but it really isn't. But it's a small market cap, so one day down the road, it could be a lot. So it's just something that helps gets people's attention because everybody likes free stuff. But and working with the One Moon DAO, I was able to work with them to be able to give them a wallet list and have them send it out to each one of my delegates, not have to do the 10% transaction fee because it helped them out get exposure as well. So
Yeah, those are all like really great ideas. So technically, when you work on collaborations, my best advice is just think outside the box. Whoever you're working with, try to like come up with something that normally someone hasn't done, which I know it's extremely hard. But if you can come up with something, then great, run with it. And if it doesn't work, you can guys can still try again in a different way. But it's just come up with something that can help with you guys basically. So the next topic we wanted to cover is picking your brand. Now, this part, believe it or not, is extremely important. And believe me when I say this, it's important because you don't want to be the guy that picks a Nintendo validator or Super Mario validator. Because I will tell you right now, you will get a cease and desist letter so fast that it won't even be funny. Because Nintendo has records of protecting their IP. So can't stress it enough. Be careful on the IPs that you choose to represent. I personally will stay away from those type of IPs and just focus on like a generalization of it. Like get familiar with copyright laws because you don't want to be in that position where, let's say, you have like 20 million one tokens and then you have to rename your validator, and that move can hurt your brand and your delegators might not be aware that that's going on. Then you might lose delegates from that. It could hurt you in the long run. So just be careful when you think about brands. Some ideas that we wrote down that you can kind of establish a brand is either family friendly, something with like sports, but I wouldn't use their actual name and logos. Like something that you know that's just won't get attention of a lawyer, basically. Same thing with movies and other hobbies that you might have, like let's say track racing or NASCAR, something around those areas. But like, don't get in trouble with copyright, basically. Charitable causes, like I know Strong Minds Hold is very strong with charity when it comes to you know, cancer and stuff like that. That's something that he holds deal very personal. His validator, he's was able to kind of showcase that because you know of his wife and everything. So that right there is I don't want you guys to use that as like a manipulation tactic, but I wanted you guys to think about it. Like if that is something that you're serious about, be serious about it. Like don't mess around with it. Don't don't just make it just so you can get delegators. Like people will see that and they'll see that really fast and that will hurt you in the long run. So be genuine about the brand that you come up with. Like if, as I mentioned it before, if one of your causes is saving dolphins, like be genuine about that. If that's where you want to go, or even saving the forest and planting trees, like do that. But be serious about it. Come up with a plan where your validator, whatever funds that it generates, will go to a cause that will plant trees, and you can show receipts that that's happening. Like, hey, this month we were able to plant 2 trees on this rainforest. These are the lots that they were planted at. planted on, and that could be a cause that you can run with. So that's what I mean by it. Things that you can, other brand ideas is music. You can generalize that, or even crypto wise. But think of those areas of a brand that you want to establish yourself. I myself, I chose Brother One uh, out of my love for the anime culture. I love anime. I love video games. So for me, one of the funny memes that I will go off is, older brother. That's a huge thing in the Japanese culture, about like showing love to your older brother. So I originally had my vow there called Oni One, which means brother. Oni means brother, but one obviously for harmony. But that didn't work out for me, so I had to change it to the English translation, which doesn't really mean the same thing in English, but that's where my name for my validator came from. Hound, his validator came from the love of his dog. His dog was named Hound, and he ran with that, and that's the name that he chooses to honor his dog. So he's honoring his legacy of his dog with his validator, which I think that's amazing, and that's so noble. And Tilly, I think you're kind of the same sentiments with your dog. Like, that's so cool. Stuff like that is honorable, and I believe you guys should make sure that people know about that, know that story, and how run it. I think it'll help you guys out a lot in the long run. Um, Rob, did you want to comment on the process of setting up a website?
Sure. Setting up a website, if you don't have a website and you don't know how to set one up, you can reach out to validators and they can point you in the right direction. And do keep in mind that you may need to buy a website domain. Um, there's a list of domain websites, for example, GoDaddy, Wix, Namecheap, Bluehost, Squarespace, HostGator, WordPress. Um, you can GoDaddy is like a easy one to use. You can get a domain and set up a website right through them pretty easily. If you're looking for a web designer, you can check out Fiverr or Upwork also. And you can hire freelance web designers with the from Fiverr, Upwork. But definitely recommend reaching out to the community and see who they recommend for the website and go from there. I think websites are definitely beneficial to have. It's easy to send your delegates to keep them up to date. Have some place that they can always see what's going on. You can have wallet guides and different links on there, so it's definitely beneficial. You want to say
Yeah, with
anything?
the yeah with web design. With when it comes to getting someone to design your website, Rob touched on it a little bit. We recommend it's best to find someone in the community that does web design, and possibly hiring them to do your website, just because they've had other validators that they've done work for, and it kind of just keeps the work inside the community, but it gives them something to do as well. But at the same time, that this person isn't going to like hijack your domain. They're not going to mess up like your work, and like they know what they're catering the website to. With Fiverr and Upwork, you're kind of shooting like a dart on on a dark, like on a blank space, you don't know where it's going to land, and you don't know if your instructions on how you want your website to look will actually work out. Because these are people that like they're like freelancers. They're not. Some of them don't know what crypto is, so they're going to run off what they believe the website should look like, and it might not always work out the way you want it to. So if you can find someone in the community that does web design work, that knows what you want, and you'll have an easier time of designing your website. But a good thing that you could do is you can visit other established validators websites and take notes. What are they doing? A good thing that Rob mentioned was they have guides in their websites. So if whenever you have like a new delegator that's researching or how to stake, and they come across your website, if they can find all the information on how to stake, guides on how to do it, whether it's video or written format, that can help them to get you to delegate with you. And some people don't, they underestimate how powerful a website can be. So if you can have all that information there and how to do stuff, where to delegate, the process of how to do it, you can really, really turn a tide around. And to the point where all you need to do is just send something on your website and they'll take care of everything itself. But I do recommend shopping around, looking at different validator websites, getting some ideas down so you can custom build your own website. And then whoever you decide to hire, provide them with that information and, have them cater to what you want on your website. I know some people come from the website area, so they're able to do it themselves. But I think GoDaddy and WordPress, they do have tools. It might not come out as clean. You might have to pay for some things, but as long as you can get the message out there, that you want to teach your delegators how to stake, where to stake. As long as you get that message out there, I think it'll be worth it in the long run. But yeah, that's my take on web design.
And you always want to promote security practices too. That's like very important.
Yeah, definitely. You want to make sure that everybody knows to protect their keys to give it out to someone asking for it. So yeah, that is a thing that please don't forget to promote security practices for your delegators. And Rob, I think that's all the subjects that we had to cover. Is there any more that was in the presentation that you had that we didn't cover? I want to make sure we didn't forget anything.
No, that's basically what we had. Like, I think really what it really comes down to is really being in the community and helping people out. And like, you want to be on Reddit, be on Twitter, be on Facebook, be on Telegram, and you can find people asking questions every single day. And even if you're not the first one there to answer them, you're gonna learn stuff too, because and people are gonna see you in the community, and as you build trust from them seeing your name out there, it's really goes a long ways.
Yeah,
I would like to invite Tim, Strong Minds Hold. Do you want to say anything?
the king of marketing.
Dang, I don't know if you guys can hear me. I'm having Discord problems as usual.
We can hear you, but loud and clear.
Yeah, I think Rob said it pretty well about just community engagement. I mean, it's like for me personally, that's kind of like what I did. There's some people in here that may not be familiar with how I got to where I'm at, but super quickly is I was involved with the community way before I was a validator, modding Telegram and Reddit. And it was not only cool to help people, but it was also cool to learn stuff because I didn't know everything on how it worked on different tricks and being able to understand EPOS and all this stuff. So as I was helping people, I was learning, but I was also establishing kind of like a name in the community for being on both sides. Because back then, and Telegram was the most popular thing in Harmony, and Reddit was, when I became a mod, it had maybe 800 people in it, and so it was really neat to be part of those two things. And because that was pretty much where Harmony existed, Twitter wasn't really a big thing yet. That I kind of got, at least the community got familiar with me. So becoming a validator was a logical step, and I was kind of pushed to it by some of the OGs. And but because I was known, there was already like that. As much as it's hard to have trust in crypto. There was still I had a level of familiarity with the community. So when I started my validator, they knew who I was. So and they knew how easy I was to get a hold of me, and it really helped. But I just inundated social media everywhere I could, like Bob was saying. Facebook, Twitter, Telegram, Reddit, even some Discord. And now I'm fully in Discord, but. And all I did, like he was saying, is help, assist. I've always loved the community. It's what kept me here when I found Harmony, and so it was really easy to just transition into helping them. But I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I put it in for months in a row. It was 16 to 18-hour days. It was very long and very hard. A lot of blood, sweat, and tears put into it. But it ultimately paid off. I think it is the reason why I'm at where I'm at today. And it's not that method of approach isn't for everybody, because some people have a real job in real life that takes hours away, and other people have families and they don't want to risk personal relationships being crushed because they're spending 18 hours a day on a computer. I'm blessed because I fully retired at 39, so I have all the time in the world to do it. But it's not that method isn't for everybody. My suggestion to people is, if you can't do it that way and you can't get yourself out there, is find a niche that you can offer the community that's not really done by much other validators, and some skill set that you have, and capitalize on that. Cheeky Crypto is a great example. They run a YouTube channel and they do more than just Harmony, but that's the reason why they have so much staked with them, is because their YouTube channel, that they do promotional stuff. And so they've got members that they're able to reach that aren't even involved with Harmony. They're like, well, hey, if these guys invest in it, then I will too. So, and I've seen other validators who are good at making videos, do like how-to videos. That's another great thing that you can offer the community. The guide thing is cool. I feel like it's a little saturated because everybody's got a guide now. But that's really my advice, is if you can't throw a ton of man hours into it, is to figure out what you can do that you're good at to offer the community. Translating stuff. That's a great thing. If you know another language, and that language, have a population of people that is kind of big on Harmony, then that's a great avenue to use to do some translation and go into those Telegram groups and join their Discords. And you won't have much competition, at that point, if you're able to translate it and nobody else can. So it's just figuring out where you can fit into the community, what you can offer. And honestly, the best way to do it is just have a great attitude about the community. I love this community, and so putting on hours was a no-brainer for me. If just have that as your main goal, is you just want to be somebody that's out there helping, and not helping because people are, because you're looking for a delegator. That was never my intention. I help with any question. Doesn't matter if it's a staking, or if it's EPOS, or if it's, please explain to me what Harmony is, or whatever. It's just being helpful to anybody at anywhere with any question, and people see that and pick up on it, and you become kind of like a face in the community that they trust in to help them no matter what. So that's just kind of like my little spiel on what worked for me and what you could potentially do if you don't have the ability to put all that time in.
Yeah, you hit a lot of things on the nail, Tim. That's kind of when I was talking earlier, when I mentioned the word genuine, like, be genuine on what you're doing and what you're offering to the community. Oftentimes myself, I work 60 hours a week. 6 days a week. I only had one day on Saturday. That was the majority of my 2020. Yeah. So 2020 and 2021 was just that 60 hours a week. And I busted my butt off on just helping. I wasn't really interested. Like, obviously, you're interested in delegators, but that wasn't my main focus. My main focus was, um, what can I say? What can I do to help everybody? I collaborated with small artists that were just barely coming up. They didn't really have a lot of notoriety with the community, but you know, hey, if art's are thing and this is serious and you want help, I'll collaborate with you. I'll showcase your work, and then it's up to you, to grow. But I'll do that for you, and this will help you out, and it'll help my delegators have something that they can look forward to as an NFT. Just doing that, like, there's so many things that you can do, but just reaching out, helping out the community, offering your assistance. Like, if you're in chat, be like, hey guys, I have like an hour. Does anybody need help with like guides or with uh, any technical things or setting up a validator? Just letting know the community that you're available, I think will go a long way. Not everybody will respond, but the cool thing is that you're putting yourself out there and you're offering your help and your services and whatever you can do, and finding, like Tim said, finding your niche. So even if that is something with a DAO, helping out any of the DAOs that are around right now, um, even offering that type of assistance that you can do, we know will get you some notoriety. And the main thing is having the community recognizing you as a trusted source. As long as you can establish that, and you can help the community, I think the delegators will come naturally. So and it won't matter if it takes 2, 3 months or 6 months, but if you can get to that point, I think the community will end up taking care of you. I know it kind of sounds like wishful thinking, but it works almost every time. I've seen it with X Lab Guy. I've seen it with Rob. Uh, Rob was just a moderator on the Facebook forums. He did that on a daily. I don't think he's human sometimes because he's up almost every single hour of the day, which is insane. But but the point is that they're available, they're there, and they're willing to help. And when you're genuine about helping people, it's like it's almost contagious. So try to get to that level, and then just help out as much as you can, and just market your validator. Do what you got to do, and in the long run, it'll really help you guys out. And just teach that to any new validators coming on. Teach that to them and show them that, hey, this is the way, basically.
You brought up something that made me realize too. One thing that you can do that's different than when I started over a year ago was there's the projects on Harmony are everywhere. I mean, we're daily like, okay, we got a new launch of this project, and that is a great opportunity as a validator to be attached to a project if you can. If you can be attached to a project, you're not only are you helping that project become successful, but look at that project's community. They see you doing it. They see you involved. You're probably going to end up being their validator. I mean, they have an invested interest already in that project, and here you are as a validator. You're part of it. You're making the project succeed. That's that right there. I think is a really where we're at today. Is what can you be attached to? A great example is Mick has been a validator for a while, but not really in like the public light. But the dude's smart, and the guy is basically heads up one of the main guys on Win Lambo. So I mean that's a pretty big community, and if he's active in the chats and everything, and so they're seeing that, so they're like, okay, I mean this guy, me and him are in the trenches together with Win Lambo. Any gains I get, I'm probably going to stick in him if I'm a community member. That's how I'm going to think. So that I think that's like we have such an opportunity at this point that non-existent last year and a half ago. Didn't even exist. So I would suggest trying to do that. I don't necessarily mean like make yourself a DAO governor for hire, because you got to be careful what project you're willing to put your name against. This is not bragging whatsoever. I'm not that type of person, but I get daily asked to be part of DAOs for projects, and I turn down pretty much like 99.99% of them because I'm not willing to put my name on something that may be in bad. So I'm trying to give advice on, hey, be part of a project, but also be careful to protect your brand, because all it takes is one bad project that you're assigned to and you are pretty much done. So that's what I would say. If you're looking to try to carve out a niche, look for a project, a new one that's looking for help, or even start your own if you can.
Yeah, definitely. That's actually a good concept. So like for myself, I was asked by a certain project, which I won't name because we're being recorded, but they wanted me to be an advisor. And the issue with it is they already had a track record of certain things going south, and I told them like and being a part of the VDAO, like I can't really fulfill that role because it'll be like Harmy's endorsing it, and I can't do that. So if I wasn't affiliated with him, I would be willing to offer you guys advice, but at the moment I can't do that because it'll be like Harmy verifying this project, and that's not the representation that I want to do. So you do have to keep that in mind when you are approaching projects or when projects are approaching you. You want to make sure that you're pretty much being careful on which project you choose to be affiliated with. Um, but yeah, it's a lot more important. That becomes a lot more of a thing when you get a lot more notoriety with the community. It becomes more serious. But as you're starting out, like people are not really going to expect that from you in a way. But do keep that in mind as you do create credibility to the community. Keep those things in mind.
What
Is
one other thing I would say, and I hate hogging the mic, man, but I have been around for a bit. That gives me the do I get like credit to be able to hog the mic a little bit for that?
Let's get into the Q&A session because we already covered the majority of it. But real quick, Hilly asked a question. So he's asking like, how do you know when you get delegates from your site? Like, is there an API available to get that information? Um, the real answer to that question is no. There is no way to know if you're getting delegations from your website. But for me, I use WordPress, but I did hire a web designer to design my website. But what WordPress does, it gives me daily numbers of how many people visit my website on a daily basis and a month basis. So based off of that, like if even 1% of them delegate, cool. But I'm not really counting on those numbers to reflect the amount of delegations I get on my validator. Um, I, for one, would rather see just people visiting my website as a sign of, hey, they're interested. If they click on my guides or they find out about Harmony and they fall in love with Harmony, that's a win for me. I'm not really focused on getting delegators from my website. I'm more focused on providing the information that they need to be able to delegate. So, like something that Rob said is teaching them, the delegators, to remove their one tokens from the exchanges, from KuCoin, Binance, or anything like that. But yeah, so that's a very good question. But the only way to get that raw data is if you can somehow figure out how to connect your website to the staking dashboard or something. But I think that might be something like far off in the future if someone really figures it out. But Tim, go ahead and go with your question.
Well, that's actually weird because what he asked was kind of bleeds into what I was going to say. I would not personally. I would not be more. I'm not really concerned about where they come from. what I've been concerned with from point one, I literally from point one, the very first thing I did after my validator went live was I created a chat, because I had seen so many people, and some of you guys have heard me say this before, but I've seen so many people in Telegram and Reddit and saying, hey, my validator is this, and I can't get a hold of them, and I've got a question, and they're unelected, and what do I need to do? And I was like, oh man, if I ever become a validator, I never want to see my name in any of these social media things where somebody's looking for me. I should be ready, available, because their investment is sitting in my lap. So I created my chat room on Telegram, because that was the big thing then, was Telegram. And I tried to funnel every single soul that delegated with me to that. And the only way to do that is really to go out on all the social medias and say, this is my chat. And if you delegate with me, please absolutely go here. You will get up-to-date info. I will not hide anything from you. This is how I'm transparent. If you have something that you need to ask of me, I will respond, as fast as I can. But this is my direct line from me to you and you to me. And a way to do governance correctly too is to be able to ability to talk to your delegators and say, hey, this is a proposal, and what do you think? So I did that, and I still think to this day, I think I'm the most successful validator with that chat. I think it has the most numbers in it. I don't know about the activity anymore. People kind of tend to flow in and out, but that's great marketing, I think, is saying, hey, not only am I a validator, I'm an accessible validator that you will never have to worry about trying to find. All you have to do is be here at this place, and I will be there also. And so I encourage you, if you don't have that, to try to do it. Is it tough to go and get the delegators that delegated with you 6 months ago? Yeah, you're not going to capture everybody. I don't have a very big, if you look at the amount of people in the chat versus my total delegators, it's very small compared to the total. But I do my best to, I haven't done it in a while and I need to do it again, but routinely need to put out there as a reminder, here's my chat, my direct chat for all the people at stake with me. And so yeah, that's my advice, is if you're going to go full bore marketing, market your strengths, and market your accessibility and your transparency. People want that. Even though crypto is tough to have, they desire to have that intimate relationship. And so in the end, does it matter where they come from? No. What matters is getting them and keeping them. And you keep them by being transparent and accessible and a person. And you like grow those relationships with your delegators one-on-one. And people are very likely to not leave your validator because you've established that personal relationship. You're not just somebody who's giving rewards and taking a fee. You're a person and you have a story, and you're involved with their story and their lives. I mean, I have a personal connection with hundreds of people now that stick with me. It's neat. I like it. But it makes you more than just a number or a screen name, and that's how you keep people in your validator.
Yeah, that's essentially it. And just I'm gonna roll it back just a quick. So on my website, I actually have a number that shows the amount of delegations that I have on my validator. So that is not connected with the staking dashboard. That's a number that I have to go back and edit every single day. If I wanted to keep up with the numbers that I have showing on the staking dashboard. But Tim, you do bring up a lot of good things to know. Um, so Rob, do you have anything that you want to add on that?
One easy way to show your stats, I have a link on my website that goes right to the easy node and brings up my stats automatically, so it's always up to date. But that's very good advice, Tim. Thank you for coming up and joining us and giving your input. And does
Yeah,
anybody?
definitely. But
Oh,
just want to add on really quick. The thing that Tim said about having like a chat room or something, it doesn't even have to be Telegram. You can create your own Discord server and invite your delegators to the server and have questions. You can even host private events for your delegators or your followers. Uh, it's a great marketing tactic because you let people know that are interested in your validator that you're available 24/7. Anytime they ask a question, they don't have to go on Twitter asking, "Hey, can anybody get a hold of this validator for me?" No, it's more of like, "Oh, let me send a message on his Discord. If he has a Telegram group, let me send him a message there." And that's like the fastest way they can get a hold of you. Even on Twitter, they can even DM you, but you want to make sure that you communicate to everybody that you're available, that you're willing to answer questions. And Hank is here, and she is like notorious for this. Like, you can send her a message and she's gonna reply. Like, there's almost a guarantee. But how does the community know that? Well, because of the hard work that she puts out, the communication that she puts out. Hey, if we have a question or regarding on anything, or even a validator like questions, like, I'm here, just shoot me a message and I'll respond, and I'll eventually be able to help you out. So that's a reputation that she built over time. It wasn't like, hey, one day, one announcement, and then everybody goes and asks a question. No, it's something that she developed over a period of time. And that's what I want you guys to understand, is that it's going to take time to get that type of notoriety, but putting yourselves out there that you're available, that you're willing to answer these questions, that you're willing to help out, and that you're more than just a validator, you're someone that's behind a computer that can assist. um it's very, very powerful. And I recommend you guys to just run with it and shoot. But does anybody have any other questions though?
Or even if anybody else has anything to add too, like that maybe we missed, feel free to speak up too. I definitely agree with Tim about building the relationships with your delegates too. Like, uh, the more you are available to talk to them, build the relationships, it helps tremendously. Just being a real person like that. So I'm glad he brought it up. Thank you.
Hey, this is Tilly One. The only thing I can add, you guys brought up earlier since you're recording this, for anyone that might do this in the replay, with Fiverr, in my personal experience, just be a bit careful because I actually had someone do voiceover work for me on a work project, and I wound up, we did a standard deal of, half in the beginning, half in the end when the deliverables. And the first part went fine. It was afterwards, like, oh, well, this is a lot harder than you told me, and it takes a lot of work to do this stuff. And I said, well, I thought that was against the policy of Fiverr. And his answer was always, well, I'll give you your money back, but it sounds like you need this done. You got a project, right? So it was always
Hey,
just
Daddy.
hey, Caleb. Okay. It was always like I need a little bit more money up front, so I probably ended up triple paying in the end just to get the product that I needed. So just a heads up on Fiverr, guys.
Yeah, definitely. That's kind of what I wanted to let everybody know. When you're using Fiverr or Upwork, hiring a freelancer, um, their job is to get as much money from you as possible. So even though Fiverr has their thing, what you have to realize is this is kind of like, think of it like Craigslist. You list what you want, but at the end of the day, they're only going to give you face value work. So if you don't want face value work, uh, try to pay the extra cash for someone who's actually going to do the real work. Um, I would use that as like last minute, or for like a small project, something extremely small that really won't take that much time, like maybe a poster or something. But as far as like website designing, like that might not be the best choice. You can give it a try, but the issue that, like, kind of like what Tilly was referring to, is they can build like maybe like the first page of the website, and then next be like, hey, well, I got it done. Well, if you want the rest, it's going to be this X amount. And if you don't pay it, you're only going to be left with the front page, and that might not even be fully done, and then you're kind of left with, like, you're kind of left hanging. So you don't want those type of scenarios to occur. So that's why my best recommendation is to find someone in the community that is good at website designs, ask all the validators to see who they can recommend and just go with them, because at least they understand what you're looking for, and you can kind of explain to them like, what you want, and you can pay them a fair amount and they can get it done for you. So the credibility there is a lot better than any of these freelance websites and stuff like that. Um, Now, One United or sorry, do you guys have any questions regarding marketing? Like, is there something that you felt like you tried that didn't really work out that you might want some feedback or well, if no one has any more questions, we can bring this to a close. Just want to remind everybody that please go um to the tech channel section under masterclass links. Right there at the very top, you're gonna see a feedback for master classes form. Please fill that out to let us know what you thought of today's class and if you have any feedback on there. Tilly, I saw that you unmuted. Did you have a question?
Yeah, actually, kind of get your guys' opinion. My next thing I'm trying just to try new things. Hank and her husband got some NFTs made for me. Did 125 of them. They're like baseball card like size and they're numbered. And my initial idea was, kind of retentions, keep everybody in, but also at the same time, I want to try and grow a bit more. So I have these in. I'm gonna try and get with Mad NFT, but Hank and might even want me to ask this. She was saying that Mad might not be a good idea for that because they're not really designed for just to be a housing NFTs. You're actually really supposed to buy and sell. So I don't know if I can get those loaded on there and done. If not, I'm probably going with DaVinci or something like that. But if you guys were doing some sort of a campaign like that, NFTs or your image or a link, something to get your name out more, and you guys can see I got about 500 followers, so I'm still kind of starting. What would you guys recommend in terms of you paid for some content? I got 125 NFTs, and I'm gonna give probably at least half of them out to do a big giveaway because that's always fun within your own set of group you already have. But would you guys have any initial ideas on how would you really get out there and really try and push that out to maybe even garner more delegates?
Hi,
So,
Billy. I
oh,
I want to just add something to your question. Um, I talked to Mad, and well, actually, I shouldn't say that I talked to Mad. I went to their AMA session on Twitter. They are coming out with the ability to airdrop to individual addresses, but it's just not there at the moment. So just
Okay.
to add that
Well, I
in.
might wait then because I mean that is such a neat platform. That website really does blow me away. So I might just hold on to the work and then just kind of wait for them. But again, how would you guys really like? Okay, I got this stuff. How am I going to really try and spread the word as much as possible? With
so
us, just Harmony's being so niche. I mean, that's another thing. Also, is like we're pretty niche still, so it's kind of hard to get big buzz on anything, in my opinion. But maybe you guys have other ideas on that.
so my question is, are you planning on selling these, or is it
No
just
giveaways.
for? So this is all just giveaways. Is that correct? Are all those 100 and
Yeah. I
something?
just want to do giveaways, but at the same time, I was thinking like, hey, I did 125 because I had about 125 unique addresses at the time, but it's like, well, maybe I'll hold on to half of those to try and garner more, like almost like advertising. But they're all going to be given away one way or another.
Okay. So what I would do is I would look for other NFT artists and I'll reach out to them. Maybe some that have a good reputation. I would go for them first, and I'll talk to them to see if they can come up with a deal where you guys can run a campaign, and let's say you give away 10 of them and they give away like one or two of their arts, and you run campaigns like, hey, 1 week I'm going to do this, and in 2 weeks I'm going to give another set away, and add some value to it. So let's say those 10 that you're planning on giving away with that artist, um you're gonna put those contracts, like let's say if it's 1 through 10 number of the name of the NFT. So let's say it's 1 through 10. So you tell them that you're going to airdrop those 10 to any of the people who are participating, and you're going to put those 10 in a randomizer, and whoever gets chosen from the randomizer will get the additional um, extra 2 NFTs from that artist. So let's say if you put 1 through 10 and 8 and 2 get selected, the people who were participating in your campaign and shared and followed you and the artist, they'll get that special NFT from that artist airdropped to them along with your Tilly 1 NFT. And then and this is just ideas that I'm coming up as I'm talking to you.
Yeah, no,
So
that's really smart. Yeah, I hear you there.
yeah, so my thing is go out there, talk to artists, talk to different people, talk to projects, talk to golfers. You know, the biggest tool that you guys have is that you're kind of like a company. You're a brand, and you treat yourself that way. You're starting off, but the thing is like, hey, I have 500 followers, you have this month. Let's work together. Your main goal is to get more followers, is to get more notoriety, is to put yourself out there. If you want to offer like I think you're special in IT or something. If you want to do something like, hey, if anything that you have like at work or whatever, or if you have any issues with your computer, I can help you for like an hour for free or something. Whatever it is, you can use that as well. But get creative. Try things. Not everything is going to work, but the fact that you're out there and you're promoting and you're teaming up with creators, projects, and you're putting yourself out there, you're going to get more eyes on you, and that's what you want. And that's essentially what I tried to say on the collaboration aspect. But just do that. And then if Hank wants to do a collaboration with you, and you both want to do Twitter campaign or Reddit or whatever, you guys can do so. But I do know that the majority of the established validators don't really like doing that so much, because we don't want more attention to us. We want the attention to go to you guys. So if you haven't really been seeing a lot of campaigns going on, is because a lot of the legacy val, like Tim and myself, we don't want to run anymore because we don't want to take that attention from you guys. So, and honestly, One Bull, Tilly, and sorry, like if you three team up and do like a huge giveaway, that will benefit you guys. You know what I'm saying? But there's so many options out there. Just go and run with it. Have fun, make it engaging, add value to what you're giving away. And that would be my advice. I don't know, Tim, if you want to chime in.
Oh yeah, because I've got an opinion about NFTs now, and this opinion's crafted from joining. I don't even know how many NFT Twitter Spaces I've joined now that aren't Harmony, but I join a ton of them. And honestly, at this point of the NFT evolution of where it's gotten to is, if your NFT doesn't have utility, it's not going to serve a purpose anymore. Even artists who literally are just creating art are struggling to sell them, because there's really no utility once it's been purchased. It doesn't do anything. It sits in a wallet, and that usually just gets forgotten about. So the thing right now with NFTs is, does it give utility? Does the user get something more than just a JPEG? So my advice would be, like, for instance, you could do this. Like, if you have 125 of them, you could say, hey, I'm going to give these out, but at a later date, if you're a holder of this NFT, then I will do a random airdrop or a random drawing for only members who have this NFT, who will get 201 or whatever number you come up with. And therefore, you've instantly given all 125 NFTs a utility that will make somebody want to have it. You know what I mean? And you could take it further. You have to have this NFT, and you have to have, I don't know, pick a number, 100, 200, 501 staked with my validator, and you'll be eligible for this giveaway of one. So that then then you've given that NFT more value than just it being a picture, and it gives people the idea that I want to hold this because it has some potential value for me in the future. And that's just my 2 cents. There's probably people that may not agree with me on the fact that NFTs need utility, but if you look at the marketplaces and you look at the projects, it's all about utility. What are we offering these people that hold this thing simply beyond a picture of whatever it is? So that's what I would say. My advice would be is to try to figure out utility, and perpetual utility is even better. As long as this is held in a wallet, does the member get something for that potentially? And that's been a tough thing to crack in the past. But you look at Mars and all of them, Win Lambo, those are just NFTs, but the utility of them is crazy, and they're making money. So you got to figure out how to draw people into your validator by giving that NFT a little extra something.
Yeah, I hear you. Like I remember that in that Mad NFT that, and other people were also, or no, it was one of the Harmony discussions. Like people were doing like metaverse, and the NFT was a ticket. So yeah, I appreciate your guys' advice. Probably will work with a couple people if interested, and also find someone to kind of co-mingle with and do a ad kind of campaign kind of thing. Thank you guys. I appreciate it.
Yeah, definitely, no worries. So just a quick question. I know Trick, the kids, did you have any questions or anything regarding the marketing class? Hey, but it's hard to understand what you're saying. You sound very far away from your mic.
I think it
Like,
might be something more. His connection is breaking up really bad for me, at least.
yeah. Hey, if you want, can you DM me your question so I can read it, because you're cutting in and out and it might be your connection.
So, in line with what Tim and Tilly were talking about, there is bakery. I forgot the full name. Harmony Bakery. They applied for a grant, I think, on talk.harmony.one. But they have a sort of game recipe thing where you have items and they're NFTs, and you buy them and then make things, and then the proceeds of that are going to go to validators who are partnered with them or that the community wants to delegate to. That might be something worth checking out, at least something where, because obviously partnering with someone who is going to give utility for your validator in some way, whether it's running a lottery or something else, that all costs money, and it's hard when you're a smaller validator and Harmony's going down in price, and a programmer, a dev can be pretty expensive to get involved with. So I just wanted to point out that project that's launching. I don't know if they've launched already, but that it might be something that smaller validators, myself included, who could be looking into in order to help grow.
Yeah, thanks, Quentin. That's actually a good idea. If you could, can you drop the name of the group on the general chat, so that way anybody that's interested can go back and look at it if they want to explore that project. But I think any of these projects that are doing something like this are really awesome, because you can, that's a different avenue that you guys can capitalize on and possibly help you in the long run. But moving forward, does anyone have any other questions or anything that they want to ask? Please feel free to do so. All right, Rob, do you want to give some closing thoughts, Rob, before we end it?
I just, well, first, thank you everybody for joining us today and giving your input. And it's really glad we're doing these classes. I think they're gonna should help people out, and hopefully they evolve to be more educational. And the more people that do them, the more that you're gonna be able to learn from it. And like, just goes to show, having Tim join us here, he and Hank the Crank and Tilly, like, had some good feedback. And so I'm really glad that we're doing this and excited to go forward with it.
Awesome, thanks, Rob. And yeah, thanks for me as well. Appreciate everybody that showed up and and uh, and just engage in the class. It really means a lot. I really hope this project continues to grow and the classes get a lot better for everybody. Um, the masterclass has been kind of like a passion project for myself, Rob, and just term 3 entirely. Just want to hope this can grow and just be utilized. But definitely, just as a reminder, please go to the text channels and go to the masterclass links. On the top link, there's going to be the feedback form for masterclass. Please fill that out. Give us your feedback and let us know how the lesson went. And this will help us with data to provide to Harmony and also data for us to improve on moving forward. But hopefully that could be enough data for Harmony to consider supporting this in the long run. But thank you everybody so much. Tim, did you want to say something?
I was just going to see if you guys had checked to see if Trick was able to DM his question or whatever. I'm looking through the chats trying to see if he may have posted it somewhere.
No, I still haven't received it. Hey Trick, were you able to DM me your question before we end the lesson?
I mean, I have no choice but to. I have to get this. Two lines there, so I'm going through. Yeah, I don't see you. Start throwing shit. Don't keep calling.
Yeah, sorry, but you should be able to click on our profiles right on the Discord. There should be an option to send a message.
You could put it right in the general chat too.
Yeah, if you go to the general chat as well, you can ask your question there. Oh, he did post something.
Oh,
Well, he put something in regards to Harmony Forest.
Hey, Trick, if you can hear me, man, I just sent you a DM on Discord if you can respond to it with your question.
okay. So it's been told that there's some concerns about Harmoforce. I don't profess to know everything, but I will gladly answer all questions to the best of my ability.
Yeah, it sounds like he's walking. But yeah, we'll just if Trick, if you have any other questions, just feel free to DM any of us. Tim did send you a DM, and we can answer your question offline if anything. But thank you for joining us, man. Really appreciate it. And just a heads up, please go to the text channel and into the masterclass links and fill out the form. Let us know what you guys thought. And just thanks everybody for joining us for today's masterclass. Just keep an eye out. Soon Tim should post sometime this week when him and Patrick are going to host the validator setup guide. Lesson. So just keep an eye out for that, guys.
I just want to say for the record that I don't have any doubts about Harmful Force and really appreciate everything they do, and really am glad, uh, really glad you guys are out there because you guys really help us gain validators, and we appreciate everything. So, no concerns from me. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, same here. I think we need a lot more support for new and upcoming validators. So thank you for all your work.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's a really awesome initiative that Harmful has launched. And they've been just amazing. So hopefully they can still keep it up and all that stuff. But I hope everybody has a great day. Again, if you guys have any other further questions, feel free to reach out to myself or Rob, and even Tim. Like, we'll be happy to answer any of your questions. Hope everybody has a great Saturday evening, and see you guys around Twitter and all other social media sites.
Thank you, everybody.
See ya.
Thank you. Bye. See you.
All right. Bye bye.